Hey everybody, I had such nice feedback on the Deconstructed Bloom that I did last weekend, and I had a couple folks ask me if I had done a video, and no, I had not. So I wanted to play today and do one with the same color scheme, but in reverse order, but I want to do it on a black background. So I'm going to take the opportunity today to video that one and see how that turns out. So I will be back in a minute. I'm going to put my black base coat down and have that ready, and then I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I decided to move downstairs. I've actually already tried to do one painting, and my base paint was unusually thick this time. So I scrapped that, and we're going to start over and hope this one works a little bit better. I took just the tiniest little bit of distilled water and thinned the layer down that I wanted to use for this base to help it move. It was just so thick it did not want to move, and now I've got little air bubbles in here from stirring in the water, but as we stretch it, we'll take care of those if they persist. So like I say, I'm using the Color Place Satin Onyx Black for my pillow paint. And I did thin it down just a tad so that I can get the blooms moving, but I've got the base paint down, I got the sides covered, so we're going to go ahead and start with our bloom. As I mentioned at the start of the video, the colors that I used in the one that I had the white background on last weekend, really liked that, so I wanted to try using the dark background and a black cell activator this time and see how those colors pop. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And this is an 11 by 14 canvas for the blooms itself. I am gonna use the regular thickness of my paint just to help provide a good cushion for the bloom so it doesn't get stuck in the middle when we blow it out. Hopefully the slight differential in the thicknesses won't keep it from moving well once we start. So we're gonna start with the blues this time. This is the TLP tail feather. And then next we have our golden fluid acrylic, cobalt blue, or cobalt turquoise, excuse me. And then we've got TLP King of Pain. And we're going to top it off with the golden fluid iridescent silver. And I'll have all the colors listed at the end of the video as well as my pillow paint and my cell activator, which is Amsterdam Lamp Black today with the Australian Floetrol. And I normally like to start my blooms by mouth, and then we're going to stretch the edges out with the hair dryer. So we'll get started. Let the middle collect a little bit. Get all those cells forming, and then we'll blow out the edges of the bloom with the hair dryer. It's making some really pretty multicolored cells. All these colors are going to look pretty together. Try to get a few more cells there in the middle and pop through. And while that's collecting back, we'll go ahead and blow out the edges. Yeah, the cells in the center are just so pretty. And then, of course, though, as we deconstruct our bloom, they'll stretch out. But the hair dryer leaves these nice soft edges that just look so pretty when we get it on the white one. So I'm hoping for the same type of result. So again, we're going to put down another little bit thicker blob to let the bloom rest on. And we're going to order the paints in the same way again. Okay. This one looks a little distorted. And again, the cells in the middle are just look so pretty. So we're going to give that just a second to come all the way back in, and then we'll do the hair dryer on this one, then we'll start our deconstruction. I'm just going to take this colored spot here that fell and just kind of even that back out a little bit. All right, so I'm hoping at this time the paint will move a little bit better together. I like how the primary part of the bloom is a little bit offset from each other. That kind of happened in my last one too. And I can't say that that's on purpose, but I'll take it. So we're just going to start tilting this a little bit back and forth, and then we'll go the other direction and get the corners. So you can see I've got a lot more paint in the middle. So that wants to move a lot quicker. So I'm going to get rid of just a little bit of that. So now the whole bloom will move a little bit more uniformly, I think. Yeah. And then we'll take it back to the center and we'll concentrate on the corners. Back in the middle. And then we're going to take it off of this bottom corner here first. Let it catch on the corner. Yeah, this paint is moving together a lot better this time. We're going to bring it back. Take it down to this other corner. And as we're stretching it, I can see much more of the shimmer from the tail feather, which is just so pretty against the black. I don't want to lose that bloom, so I'm going to be careful with that. Take it back to the middle, and then we'll get the other two corners. I'm not sure if I mentioned, this is an 11 by 14 canvas, so I've just been sticking with doing 2 blooms. I know a lot of folks do, 3 or 4, but I don't think my canvas is quite big enough to work with that. And since I'm still learning the technique, I'm just trying to keep it as simple as possible. So we're going to go down to this back corner now. Hopefully you guys can see. The first one I tried, like I say, the base paint was much too thick, and I mean, it just did not want to move. There was no way I was getting it to spread over the whole canvas. But this is working out a lot better. And we'll take it back for the last corner. You might wonder why I had it up on my spinner. I don't think I mentioned that. I just did it for ease, for when I was doing blowing up my blooms, so that I could not have to worry about moving anything, because I have my tripod and camera set up on top of the counter here with me, so I can't move around too much for fear of knocking that off. I got all 4 corners, much better than my earlier attempt. So now I'm just gonna bring this back some and decide how I want the placement to be. And I think we've gotten pretty much all of the paint that we really need to get off, because it's you know, moving much more slowly now, so I don't think I have to worry about there being too much paint left in the middle. Just gonna move this down a little bit. Actually, it is still kind of moving, so I need to make sure that we get all the extra paint off. Keep it from cracking in the middle. I want to try to get some of the lines from the bottom up a little bit closer to the middle so that we don't have a large gap, but I can see that in the light that there's some of the tail feather TLP throughout, so it's going to provide some nice soft color depending on how you look at it when the light shifts, so it won't be totally black in the middle. All right, I think we got enough paint off. It's moving a little bit, but not enough that I think I need to worry about it. So I'm going to move this spinner out of the way. Carefully. Set that down. I'll put it back in view in just 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna clean up the edges, make sure I have all the edges covered, pop a couple more air bubbles, and then I will come back and take you in for a close-up just to let you see all the beautiful soft lines of the colors that are blending through the black paint. So I will be back in just a few minutes. Okay, so I made sure all the sides were covered. I got my excess paint off the bottom, and take you in. I'm not sure if you can actually see some of the shimmer that I'm talking about from the tail feather TLP. I had to turn off my ring light because the glare was terrible. So you can still see some of the cells from the bloom, and then it just kind of fades into the soft lines. There's some of the green from the tail feather, but it's just so wispy throughout, and you can see the light, the spots here that it won't be totally black when it dries. You're going to see that shimmer from the TLP colors, but this one held up some of the peacock cells really nicely as well. So I'm actually really pleased with this, and we will see how it dries. But again, this was an 11 by 14 canvas, and I think on the black background, I just really like how the colors pop. It's still soft with the soft lines and stuff, but the colors are just amazing. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you like this as much as I do. Thanks.